Oh, good morning. Great to see you. Hi, I'm Reverend Maurene Bishop. I'm going to be recording a talk that I gave last Sunday, July 11th, 2023, to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. The talk I'm going to give today is called Envisioning the Good. And I'm going to be talking about two metaphysical tools, the tool of visioning and the tool of visualization. Now, we know in religious science that we can envision our way forward. We can use a creative mind for experiencing more good in our lives. So today, I want to talk a little more about the two. We've been giving a class. This is the fifth week of a class, and the students are going to be presenting their vision boards, also known as treasure maps. So we use visualization, which is out here. It's something we're creating to help us remember and see and envision more good in our lives. Visioning is internal. We go into meditative state. It's a state of being as opposed to doing. So today, I'd like to start with a talk. We have a picture. We have one of the visualizations right here. One of our vision boards. One of our students has a vision board. Thank you, Robert. So to begin, you may have heard this one before, but a mother found her little boy. He was intently using crayons, colored crayons, and he was drawing. And he was making a sketch. And she asked him, she said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Well, with considerable pride, I'm drawing a picture of God." And his mother smiled and said, "Well, that's sweet, honey, but you can't really do that. God is infinite. God is the divine spark in you, in everyone. God is love. Nobody knows what God looks like." Without batting an eye, he said, "Well, they will in a minute." And he kept on envisioning his good, his God. So today we are going to envision our God. We're going to use both of these tools. Mark Twain said, "I can teach anybody how to get what they want out of life. The problem is I can't find anybody who can tell me what they want." So you have to be clear. You have to start with intention. Back in January, we sent out little cards. You may recall, I sent them in the mail and mailed them back last month. But I had asked everybody to write on the card, "I love myself. This is what I see for me in 2023. And we wrote down our intention for 2023. Now we address those cards to ourselves. Now you should have received them back in the mail. And this is a demonstration of how you can see changes, growth, law of attraction, bringing what you want into your life to you. It is God's pleasure to give you the kingdom. Just say yes, yes. So this class we've been taking, which is called Spiritual Practices, and it is a Center for Spiritual Living prescribed class. It basically starts with intention. And then with intention, we learn to do several things. We learn the tools of spiritual mind treatment. We learn the tool of affirmation. We learn visioning and receiving intuition. And we practice gratitude. This week's class, like I showed you a sample, we'll be talking about our vision boards. And the boards have symbols. They have symbols and pictures people have taken from magazines, from the internet. These are symbolic for love, prosperity, relationships, livelihood, your creativity. And we process these messages through our eyes. Many times I suggest You put a picture on your refrigerator or on a mirror that you go to every day, and use this spiritual tool, visualization. Now, in his book, Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, his book, which was on life visioning practice, he is the founder of the New Thought Church Agape International Spiritual Center. It's now in Beverly Hills. And Dr. Beckwith has written several books. And the book I'm talking about today, describes visioning. Now, visioning is, again, you're going within, you're contacting that still small voice within, you're utilizing that meditative state, calling forth, and we'll practice it today. You know, in religious science, we say, God is in me, God is as me, and God is through me. Now, these are stages of consciousness that we go back and forth in. The first stage is the victim stage, where everything in life happens to me, woe is me, I'm not responsible, I have no discipline, God is out there somewhere, life happens to me, and I have no control. Somebody else is to blame. The devil made me do it. I'm a victim. Now, the second stage is called the manifestor stage. Dr. Beckwith calls it that because you are a co-creator of your life, and you take responsibility for your thinking. You become disciplined in your thinking. You watch your thinking, you watch your thoughts. Now, we have fun creating. So this is a great, great opportunity for you to use your mind, for you to use the tools of law of attraction. And basically, you start to see God in everything, and you see you're good. You visualize you're good. This is the stage of God in me. I'm a doer. I co-create. Now, the next stage, the third stage, Dr. Beckwith calls it the channel stage. God is operating through me. Our spiritual practices include meditation and spiritual mind treatment, visioning. Now, this is done internally. We call this a being stage. We're not doing out here, we're being in here. We're listening to the still small voice. And we say, spirit is through me. Sometimes we call it the channel stage. Sometimes we call it the intuitive stage, the stage where we listen to the still small voice. This is the level where we're aware of this vehicle of spirit. We let go, we let God, and we know God expresses through me as me. There's a very small sense of separation. There's some separation, me and God, but it's very small. Now, the last stage, the fourth stage, is no separation. God and I are one. This stage is God as me. It's called being consciousness. The spiritual practice is usually meditation at this stage. Now, this is a self-realized being like Jesus, like Buddha, like Yogananda, anyone you can think of that is self-realized. This is the stage that they live life in most of the time. Now we rotate between these stages. Like I might go into my garden and smell a beautiful rose, and the fragrance allows me to be one with God. I see that unity when I'm at the beach, when I'm in nature, when I am meditating. I know it's a state of knowing. It's a state of oneness, no separation. Now, at other times, I put affirmations on the mirror, to remind me of my manifestations, my manifestor stage. Other times, I just have a wonderful time doing a treatment, a spiritual mind treatment for someone, and listening for guidance, because that's how ministers and practitioners pray. They listen for guidance. And you feel your oneness with spirit. Now, the last stage is giving gratitude. You bless this day, you bless everything in it, everything about it. So you give thanks, and you allow spirit to work through you, in you, as you, through you. You are at peace. Or some of us wake up and start complaining. We affirm the negative. Oh, it's cloudy again in Southern California, and I've got so much to do. I'm not motivated. I need to go to the store. I need to pay some bills. I start seeing fault in other people. You play the victim. Let's get out of stage one. Let's not. Now, in the New Testament, Matthew 6:22 says, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body will be full of light." What this means is single means one with spirit, one with God. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our organization, he said, what it means is, if our eye is single, we shall be filled with light. That is, when we perceive the unity of good, we shall perceive it in its entirety, an undivided whole. But if our eye be filled with evil, we shall remain in darkness. We must cleave to the good and trust absolutely in the law of good to bring about any desired end. As we learn to depend more and more upon the perfect law, we shall find the outward things which are necessary to our good will be provided. We shall be cared for as the lilies of the field, which live directly upon the divine bounty. And he quotes again from the Bible, and yet they toil, nor do they spin. So he's saying, our eye be single. Our perception must always be on unity, one with all. So I know many of you know that I used to teach English as a second language in Mexico. And in doing that, I noticed that learners have different ways of learning. I call them visual. We see with our eyes. And those kind of students, they love doing vision boards. They love putting pictures together. The second is auditory. Some students really like to hear. They are good listeners. They want to hear the lesson, hear it through their ears. And then the third is kinesthetic. Those are people that like to move around, talk with their hands, and they like to play with cards and structures, and they are touchy-feely. I call those kind of the reading, writing, because they like to be doing something with their hands, reading, touching, writing. And kinesthetic learners get tired of long talks, long sermons. They love card games. So I noticed that in creating a vision board, you really capture those that are visual and those that are kinesthetic. But at the same time, when you have a vision board and you do affirmations and you speak them out loud, you've got the auditory. So we have many different spiritual tools we can use to capture all modes of learning so that we can learn better, so our brain can take it in. And visioning, I'd like to do, I'll read to you the questions that Dr. Beckwith mentioned when you do visioning. Visioning is a seeing, but it's seeing within your mind's, it's your mind's eye, you're seeing within. Visioning is seeing within and hearing that still small voice. Some people see, others hear. So it's okay, whatever you see during meditation is great. And it is a being versus a doing. So Michael Beckwith says, ask 4 questions. What is the highest vision for my life? What must I become in order to manifest this vision? What qualities should I cultivate? The 3rd, what must I release to manifest this vision? 4th, what talents, what gifts, skills do I already possess that serve this vision? And then you say yes and give gratitude. You know the vision is already taking form. And you may recall Ralph Waldo Emerson had a student, his name was Henry David Thoreau, and he lived out next to Walden Pond on Thoreau's property. And he said, if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours. So keep on dreaming, keep on with your imagination, keep on creating, manifesting. So right here to end, I'm going to do a visioning session, and I will ask you the 4 questions. If you have a piece of paper handy or pen, that's good. If not, it's all right. Normally, when you do a visioning statement and you wait for maybe several minutes for the person to listen internally and write down what they get. You might get a picture of something. You might get the voice. You may get whatever. It's perfect. So it takes time. I'm going to walk through these faster, so you can do them later and they'll take all the time you need. So I want you to get comfortable. Just sit back, be comfortable, and put your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath. If you like to close your eyes, just relax. Just feel the breath coming into your lungs, filling you with oxygen, the Spirit of God in you, as you and through you, and you're breathing and you're relaxing. Now think of an intention that you have. This is an intention you may have created at the first of the year. It may have been an intention that just came up right this moment. So you have this intention you can use, or you can just create it right this minute as I speak to you. The first question is, what is the highest vision for my life? What is the highest vision for my life? Ask that to yourself now. What is the highest vision for my life? Write down anything that comes to you. The second question is, what must I become in order to manifest this vision? What must I become? What must I become to manifest this vision? Write down anything that comes to you. Third question, what must I release to manifest this vision? What must I release? What must I release? The last question, what talents, gifts, skills do I already possess that serve this vision? Again, what talents, what gifts, skills do I already possess that serve this vision? Write down anything that comes to you. Now just say, thank you, give gratitude, and know this vision is already taking form. And so it is. So thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to do a little visioning myself. So today and every day, it's all good. It's all God. Thank you.